So creating the agenda in the meantime. Status, 2 weeks of patches and bug fixes and new bugs. Status 181. What else? What else? That should be it. Lots of stuff, actually. There are more people in Jabber room than in the meeting.
Yeah, it's funny. You ever used Yammer at Microsoft? Are they starting to roll it out? Or are you still on Link for?
Oh, we use Yammer. Yammer is at Microsoft. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like it?
Yes. I read it sometimes. The issue is that Microsoft has 130,000 employees, so the main room is just a lot of stuff about nobody cares about. That's crazy. Yep. There is an Orchard group on Yammer at Microsoft. I'm the only one. Okay, I will start with the agenda. So I have. Does anyone want to do any demo today?
We have an announcement. I think Zoltan has a demo, but I'm not sure if that's correct.
Admin menu demo. Okay, Antoine has a demo. And Zoltan, maybe. And that will be it. So today, status, we'll talk about 181, which I wasn't able to release last week because of sickness. Then ASPnet vNext, the project I was working on, which is kind of public now. Also the Orchard website, Epiphany, or as it's called now, Windows Azure API Management, I think. And some demos from Antoine and Zoltan. So 2 hours of content to squish into 1 hour. That's sad we are so few today. We usually are more than that. Very interesting content.
That is pretty bad.
And that's lots of content today. Who's missing? Nick isn't here, Piotr isn't here.
Is Benedict recording? He doesn't look like he's
Yeah, sure, I'm recording.
Yep. He's not using Link to record, he's using his own stuff.
Yeah, Benedict, how many, did you look at the stats on the YouTube videos?
Yeah.
How popular are they? How many times are they viewed usually?
Well, the average is a couple hundred, but some of them go beyond 1,000.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually.
It's a 1 hour video.
Yeah.
More than 1 hour, so that's good.
Yeah.
We should go on Hulu or Netflix. Okay, status. Sharing my screen to show you what has happened. Actually, should I hide anything here? Nope, nothing to hide. This maybe. Oops. Microsoft is a very secretive place. Doing more and more open source. Yeah, we reached 6 million downloads on the gallery, and yeah, and right now it's pure module. Well, gallery modules. There are no more core modules on the gallery like it used to be. So that's better stats. So status. Where is my Git window? Is this one on top of it? Ah, it's on another screen. Okay, here we go. So 2 weeks ago, and it will be quick, 14 days ago, fixed path resolution service. Let's say we don't care about this one, must have talked about it. Disable public caching when query string is present. Let's forget about this one. This one, I think we talked about. Okay, this one, disable ASPnet. Yeah, I talked about this one, which was just about removing from the web config the output cache ASPnet module. Then we stopped here, fixing Orchard roles and feature-based description. Yep. So the description was bad. Antoine fixed them. Handling post redirects in output cache. So I handled this case. So in the output cache, I handled the fact that, and there are two commits actually, this one and one from last week. Yeah, the idea is to correctly uncache or remove from the cache a page which is the result of a post. For instance, you're on a blog post, you want to add a comment, the comment will submit a post on the same page, and what you expect is to get not to get a cached view of the page after the post, because if you get a cached view, you will miss any new content that would have been added by the comments module, for instance, on this page. So when we have a post, it's usually to submit some new content, and I get the redirect URL to send you to the new page, the updated page, and this page will be removed from the cache first before being rendered. This way you don't get stale results. And there is another commit later for this thing. So this used to be always handled, but there were some cases which would not work, and here I'm correctly handling the redirect action and the redirect location of the page to remove it from the cache. I updated some of the OSS credits from libraries that we were using, then merged, then and those changes are on the 181. Optimizing transaction logs. So this is a fix for Bertrand, which is about not saving anything for just the sake of validation on the comments module. And this also required a change in this event, which will use a new content item in the event, but there will not be any content item, so I just fixed it. It's related. Then this...
Sorry, does this also mean that the current standard workflow of saving content items is simpler? So no created before update?
11 days ago, yes. Today, no, because this one I'm highlighting, it's actually applying the same principle on all edition. Jeff Oldsmild just open a bug saying that this breaks things. You can't save fields anymore. So I will revert this one completely and take the time, reopen the bug, and take the time to find a better solution if there is. If you can't find one, feel free to submit one. So yeah, you see this change, moving this from there to there, is breaking the fields management. So it's a high priority bug, and I have to fix. Just reverting this patch in the meantime, because I try to apply the same logic as the comments here, there, so it doesn't work with fields here. It's breaking change. I have to see how it works. If we can have this work and actually find out why the fields are not saved anymore, that will be better. Instead of reverting this fix, we fix the fix. So I'll take 10 minutes to look at that. If it's too complicated or if I can't find the solution, I'll revert this fix. But yes, then if we could make it work, then we will not have the create event will be done once the fields are already pulled. And when I say fields, any data, part fields or custom fields. Then I fixed the thumbnail generation when you have spaces into the file names. I've seen people still complaining. I'm not sure they took the patch, so I have to check that, but it's working on my system. It was not working, then I did this change and now it's working. So it should be fixed. Including missing assemblies in package, so I'm including the EDM package that people were complaining about, which was not included. It was from the Media Services module, and we can point to the culprit. He is at the meeting today. This one is about Bertrand fixed an issue, apparently. Notification settings get properly persisted and displayed. Okay, so maybe, yep. If emailable, okay. Fixed an elements, so Bertrand also fixed this one. No, don't fix that. We remove those. Because if you try to build and you have the essentials, because if you have the Web Essentials plugin, it will automatically generate the JS files, and they are broken, and it will break your build because it's types.
Having the known elements does break the build.
I know. Well, it will break the publication. I agree, but here it breaks building in Visual Studio. So yeah, it's fine. We need to put it content at some point, but we need to fix the original issue. Okay. So it was a temporary patch, not to break all the builds, even the ones in Visual Studio. Sipke, can you check that, please? Because you are using a property that doesn't exist or is wrong in your TS files. So if
Which is causing the the items to be included as none?
No.
For the build action?
When the TS file is rendered, is generated in JavaScript, Visual Studio will check if it compiles the TS file.
Yeah.
It doesn't compile.
Oh, okay.
So the current JavaScript is fine, but if you try to compile the TS file, it doesn't compile, so it breaks the build in Visual Studio.
Okay,
because it's strongly typed.
So TS is
TypeScript.
Yeah.
And because it's TypeScript, it's strongly typed, and Visual Studio can ensure you don't do bad things, and doesn't work because it's bad.
So we are using TypeScript in Orchard now?
In Media Services for the video players.
When did that happen?
When we included the Media Services.
Why? Is it a dependency? I mean, are we using a dependency that is built using it, or?
No, it was a decision made by us. Because it's quite complex, this script, and using TypeScript, we like it, and now the code is really clean and nice, but it's debatable, of course, because
I think we should have talked about that.
We can still talk about it, because this was before we decided to pull it into the core of Orchard, or to make it part of Orchard core. So we can
personally
still talk
don't mind, because we point to the JavaScript.
Right, but it's...
And I will never touch these files.
I mean, we are bringing one more thing in there, and we should really think hard about that before we do it.
Okay, in the meantime, we need to fix it.
Sure.
We can also remove the TS files and just put the JavaScript files. That's fine. Bertrand, I didn't try that, but it looks nice. Added the UI to test email settings. Something we...
Yeah, and the implementation was kind of funny to create, because when it fails, when sending a mail message fails, it fails silently. So I had to implement a fake logger.
This is why you have the fake logger. Okay.
Yeah, that intercepts the error messages and then surfaces them, because you want to make it shout instead of being silent. So now you go to the email settings, and you can actually try your settings, verify them, and if they fail for whatever reason, you'll get an error message. So that makes it easier to diagnose your email settings. We've had lots of forum messages over the years.
I would say showing the error message is optional, because if it's in the log, you can look at the log, and if it works, you get the email.
No, not necessarily. You don't always have access to the logs, and I mean, yeah, it's just easier this way.
Okay.
You don't necessarily get them in the logs, in fact. Yeah.
Okay. So new link on the autoroute slug to directly go to the slug that has been typed. Then Nick started to do some pull request. Nick is not here. He would have said hi. Oh, he's here and he didn't say hi. Shame.
Hi, I am here.
So this one we had talked about a few weeks ago. It was fine. Okay, just because people could add other values on the cookie. It doesn't break anything. It was fine. This one is about fixing the migration, adding a part and returning 3. Okay, and I have some comments right after. Is Stanley here? Stanley is not here. Then workflow user activity and user ID is approved activity. So it's a new activity for users. So it's like the user event handler, but for workflows. So
yeah, I thought that was really nice actually, that one.
Yep, that's interesting. I haven't tried it, so I hope it works. But the code is nice, so there is no reason not to include that. And when I say it is nice, at least it respects the coding guidelines, so that's fine.
Yeah, kinda. I had to tweak it slightly in order for it to respect the coding guidelines.
Yeah, well, this one, okay, yeah. But yeah, it was almost good.
Yeah.
Then this one, fixing issue where user tries to create 2 parts of the same name. Okay, so you are just ensuring we don't have already the same name. That's fine. Good with me. This one is bad. So it's a good intention, but the implementation is wrong. Well, it's not. So it's removing just a bunch of migrations that we don't need. Okay, but actually a bunch of migration steps, upgrades that we don't need. And if you look at the whole file, there is a create, okay, which is used when you create a new website, and it returns 6. Okay, so the first version will be 6 in this migration. And then there is the update from 1, which was creating a part record. It's no more necessary, because if you upgrade from 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the end it removes the table. So the idea now is that because we won't need the table at step 6, we don't have to create it from step 1 to 6. Okay, fine. It removes this. It removes it everywhere. And at some point, number 2 is just changing that. So now update from 2 is empty. So when it's 2 from 3 doing nothing, you go back 1 step and you say return 3, and you remove the full method update from 2. Same thing from 4.5. You remove here the update from 4 and you say return 5. We don't need an update from 4. That's just better refactoring, and we don't need update from 5. So here the update from 3 is do that, and you see the cache parameter, yeah, do that, then return 6. And in the end, you just have 2 steps. The create, 3 steps. The create, the update from 1, and update from 3. That's it. So this is just to go a step further when you do things like that. Otherwise, it's good. It works. It's just not optimized. This one is a bunch of changes by Nick, all the same, just to go to the same issue, which was actually just validating that there is what? Validating that there is a name, that you provide a name when you're not authenticated. I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't know why I messed up a little bit. Apart from 20680, which was a different issue.
This is fine, cleaning, yeah. And this one is just, in the end, this change.
Yeah, how long ago did we use ASCX files, by the way?
We used to use that before Razor was existing in 2010. Okay. Razor was internally available in 2010 around September, and we changed all the AS6 and ASPX files, the web form templating, to Razor during this time. And I usually mention that if you go on the hollow.net / if you look at the history of the project, this one of the project, and you look at this chart, which is number of lines of code. You see here it starts in late 2009 from Bertrand, and then goes up in 2010. We arrive mid 2010 here, late 2010 it goes down. So we have less content at some point. This the decrease here is because we went from web forms templating to Razor templating. It was much less code in Razor, so we lost some code. The little curve here. Just for mentioning it. Then adding experimental support for Redis output cache. Yes, so maybe you saw that. Yes, I assume. Yeah, it's public. Okay.
Keynote.
Yeah, you saw that in the keynote yesterday or today? I don't know.
I saw it in the keynote.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So they announced a new Azure Cash service, like the sixth one, something like that. So there was Azure Raw Cache, Azure Shared Cache, Azure Cache Service, which is which was currently in preview before last week, and this is the one we are using today. And there is a new one which is called Azure Redis Cache, and it's very nice. It's Redis as a service on Azure, and if you have never played with Redis, just look at the tutorial and to see everything you can do. It's not just a cache. It's very interesting. And so I pushed experimental output cache version based on that. It's working on my machine, and it can be optimized because right now it doesn't handle a full region deletion. Like I want to remove all the cache for the website or for a tenant. It doesn't handle that, but we can do that with Redis using nice Redis techniques. So to be continued. And it's on 1.x, so it's not breaking. Yep.
Sebastian, does that Redis cache stuff work outside of Azure? The code you put in, I mean.
Yes, and we can discuss the location of the module. Right now, it's like using,
No,
but
it's fine. I understand it. I just wanted to make sure it
will.
I was curious if it worked.
Yeah, and I like to talk about it because it's in the Azure module. Because I didn't want to create another module just for Redis. Mm-hmm. Azure is there. We can point another Redis instance. It will work.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
We'll figure out where to put it, I'm sure. But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but the same thing with memcached. It's a separate module.
Yes, memcached is not in the core, which is different here.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
So here we have an Azure module. So this implementation, if you're on Azure, will work directly with the Azure Cache. That's just what is fine. And I'm reusing the keys of the output cache service. So it's the same configuration as the output cache service today in Azure. We can talk about that. Maybe Daniel will want to talk about that too. He's our Azure expert.
I can help with the Redis side of things. I've been working with Redis quite a lot too. Yeah.
Thank you. Moving workflow activities to their own features. Yes, the email workflow activities now are a separate feature. The goal is that if you want to enable email without workflow, then you can do it. Before, email required workflows. So now it's because of this activity. So now it's a separate feature. Then showing allowed modules with dependencies. I will need Zoltan to check it's working for his case because he made the feature, I just improved it. The issue was that how it was done, if you define a load feature on a tenant and this allowed feature requires another feature, dependent on another feature, it will not be displayed. So you could not enable or disable it. So what I did here is that I still show it, but the dependent feature is not displayed. So yep. and I think he didn't break anything from his side, but I just want him to check it. Fixing messages.
I checked it and I agree with the fix.
Okay, thank you. So it was missing a dot here in the text, so I added a dot. Fixing permission and projection. So yes, Bertrand showed me that if you had the manage query, what? Yes, if you had the manage queries permission, you could not access some of the controllers, like adding filters, layers, and so on. It was checking the wrong permission leftover. So now it's fixed. Then this one is interesting. Reintroducing the __r query parameter. Do you remember this one? You were a lot to complain about it. Here. So this parameter, you might have seen that a few months back, or in 1.6, 1.7. It was to prevent some caching issues, and then we decided to remove that because it didn't make sense. But actually, it's not that it didn't make sense, it's that I didn't remember the sense of it. So until I hit the same issue again, and I've decided to re-implement it, and this time document it to explain what it's for and when it's used and how it has to be used. And it's necessary. Let me explain the case. Go back 10 minutes earlier when I explained about the posts in the comments. Let's say you're going to blog. A blog. My blog. And I go on this page. And there is a comment at the end, okay? And I will submit a comment. This submit, I will do it. Submit. So I get the, where is the message? Oh, it works. Here, there was the R here. So the idea is that when you submit, it has to refresh the page, okay, on the redirect, so that you can see the new comment if it worked. Here I'm not displaying the messages, so that's why we don't see the messages. It has been refreshed here. So it has removed the content, the page from the cache. The page is refreshed because it's a post and there is a redirect. It refreshes the redirect URL. But in the case of, in case you are using the cache module and you have enabled max age and you have a public proxy or a reverse proxy caching the page, by using the same URL, you will get the result from the proxy and not from Orchard, which means even if Orchard removes the page from the cache, your proxy will return you a cached page. Okay, so by adding this thing on top of removing the originally created the cached page, we will force the reverse proxy to render a new page. Okay, and this is just for this post and this page. If I click on a link or I browse or whatever, wherever, the R is lost. So it's not just the whole navigation is not uglier than before. It's just this page on this request for yourself. That's it. And it won't affect the SEO because SEOs don't submit posts, so they won't see that. SEOs, I mean, search engines won't submit posts, so that's not an issue. Any question or concern? And it's always sent if you are using a get max age, a max age in the cache properties, which means you are enabling public proxying.
Maybe just a technique with this R query string parameter. Maybe it could be more not connected to the output cache module, because I guess there will be a lot of scenarios and people would like to force any kind of reverse proxy or any kind of other cache to force by just...
Yeah, I do it for this module because this module does that, and this is the only one we have today.
I'm just thinking about wrapping it up into some kind of service that you could just ping, so just don't cache anything that comes from this request.
Oh, this is different. This is different. Yeah, we could have a common service to manage the cache that could make sense. But here it's different. It's to force a public proxy to do that, and I will not expose it further than it is today. Or we have to come with concrete scenarios. And
Okay.
what I could do is expose the name of the key. So if you want to change it in a setting, the key you want to use, you can. That's it. Right now, it will make sense. So that's it for
the scenario I was thinking about is that I'm rewriting the notification system right now to make it independent from the session, and by making it independent from the session, there needs to be some ID that's sent from the browser, through the browser to see that the next request is done by the same user. So this could be, I guess, used for that. It's better than the cookie, I guess.
Well, if you can use a cookie, use a cookie.
Yeah, I'm using cookies now, but I'm just thinking about reusing this maybe. So
no, it's not for that. You don't want to use that, and it's very for specific reasons. So
okay.
I was wondering where R came from. Yeah. Okay. Then agenda. Status 181. So I wanted to ship last week. I was sick. Then come some very nasty bugs. The one with the content items that I will fix very soon, and then give a go for 181. So please don't push anything that might break some stuff, like don't change the comments or things like that.
Before you go on, can we vote about the TypeScript thing?
Oh, you want to vote? Okay.
Yeah.
About not using TypeScript?
I created a poll that if Sebastian stops presenting, it will.
I'm stopping presenting. Sure.
Let's see.
Stop presenting.
Okay, here we go. Oops.
So what is the subject of the poll? Okay, what should be modified in our charges? What?
So that's about what it use. Oh, TypeScript, JavaScript.
So what's the question? We want to use TypeScript anywhere or not right now?
Yes, that should be the question.
I vote no.
I vote no either, too.
Okay, so let's remove it. Can someone create
yeah, I'll create an issue for that.
An issue, and we'll put it for 181 then. Just remove TypeScript and use JavaScript. Is it fine, Bertrand, if we generate the JavaScript from the TypeScript at first?
Well, you can use Notepad too if you want. I mean, what I mean is that I don't really care how people write their JavaScript, but I don't think we should take that dependency just for that reason.
Okay.
What about just, well, I mean, it's not just having developers use JSInt and JSLint, maybe having someone go through the JavaScript and look for problems with that, and won't that kind of do the same thing that TypeScript is doing, and that it'll find some problems in JavaScript at build time and edit time as opposed to runtime?
Well, it will be 1 week of work just to make it, because we have so many JavaScript which won't follow the rules they are defining.
Yeah.
That it could be a long-term cycle to go to this level. But honestly,
it's the same for any code. I mean, Visual Studio has code quality tools integrated. ReSharper has them too.
Yeah.
I don't want to be condescending because I'm in the same bucket, but if we were about to do that, we will never accept any pull request, ever. Because they don't follow conventions.
Well,
there is no unit test.
At one stop, I mean, we tell everyone has to have their code resharpered.
Yeah.
It needs to be green.
And you pay them.
Yeah.
We don't pay for pull request, and we will piss them off if we do that. We are already late on pull request. If we have to do that, we will never get any pull request. We will never validate any pull request. For sure.
Yeah, I think it's best effort on the part of everyone. Pay attention to the little things in the margin.
Mm-hmm. The issue also I have with Codeplex is that compared to GitHub is the pull request lifecycle is very cumbersome. writing a comment, and I'm waiting for people to change it. There is a notification, and then recreating a pull request. In GitHub, it's just you commit a new change set. It's updated live on the front end. You just click merge, and it's there. It's crazy.
Is there a quicker way to do it in Coplex? Like, it took me so long just to do 6 pull requests.
You see what I mean? You have to copy line by line what they tell you to, and I don't even do their stuff because I rebase.
Well, you have to show me what you do, because I clone the entire fork and then I just patch out and patch in.
Yep. So I rebase, and I also squash them into one commit, because sometimes it's lots of communication with the user, and then in the end I just want one commit. This is the feature in the end, or this is the patch, So with GitHub it's easier to do.
I just want to say that rebase can be really super dangerous.
Yes, but I do it on purpose to make it clean. If you were using GitHub and opening more pull requests and letting, for instance, other people validate pull requests, I will not do that. It can be a mess sometimes.
Rebase can go really wrong.
Yeah.
It can do, but it can also be really super.
It just makes it cleaner, but you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah, and there is another feature that people really need to know about in Git. It's stashes. Creating a stash is a very useful tool. If you're not using it, check it out. Sometimes it's easier when you have some weird manipulations to do on your history to create a stash first, so that in case it goes really wrong, at least you have your changes somewhere that you can reapply on the new clone or something.
Lots of things to learn with Git, but it's very powerful.
Yeah.
Next topic. So many, not on half of the topics. ASPnet vNext. Who doesn't know about ASPnet vNext?
I tweeted it, and MSDev retweeted me.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I don't know what is MSDev.
MSDev is like the MSDN Twitter account.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, the ASPnet team. Let me share. So let me see. Can I share my desktop? Okay, and then this. Can you see me? Yeah. So the guys, you see some guys on the hallway here. So this team is the ASP.NET team. It's a neighborhood. It's an open space, and so I'm in the team too. Actually, I have some commits. So but mostly they. I've been working on the next generation of ASP.NET, which is the ASP.NET for the next 10 years, let's say, to summarize. There have been some sessions at TechEd this morning and yesterday to show you the new stuff. And it's not just ASP.NET, it's, let's say, .NET. It's a new CLR, cloud optimized. Fewer stuff for the cloud, all NuGet packages, and all binary deployable. So you don't have to install anything to run .NET. You don't have to install .NET to run .NET. You just take some DLLs and start your web server. And it can be any web server too. It can be a console app, it can be IIS, it can be Apache on Mono or on Mac. It's whatever you want. So it's really portable, lightweight, and high performance. So the idea also was to have a very lightweight environment or running environment to run web apps. And it's all open source. So if you go on https://github.com/ASPnet, you will find all the projects related to ASPnet. So the new MVC, you will find also Entity Framework there. You will find security, you will find HTTP abstractions, lots of projects which are in the end just NuGet packages for the new ASPnet, what they call ASPnet vNext. There is an internal project name here, but I don't know if it's public. The environment is called KVM, like K virtual machine. So K, it's all about K. That's about it, and it's using GitHub, yeah. What else? There will be some talks at Harvest. They were already provisioned. We just didn't know publicize the talk name. So now I've changed the talks. The details needs to be done, but the talks are accurate. So there will be 2 talks about the new ASP.NET. And one will be from the head of the ASP.NET team, the web team, Scott Hunter, the program manager, and also from Elon Lipton, who is the dev lead of ASP.NET, everything ASP.NET. They will have a talk introducing this stack, and there will be a talk from Taylor Mullen, who used to be a SignalR dev and is now working mainly on the new MVC, about how to use that in the new MVC stack. So there will be two talks about that. So that's the future, and we'll talk more with the links about the links with Orchard and what it will do to Orchard or not do. We have to decide. That's it. Any question about that? Quick ones. Alpha today, it's available, it's all open source. You can send pull requests, you can use that, it works. Just what I can say, it has been inspired by Orchard. I've been in most of the design meetings over the past few months, just ensuring and ask that, will it work in Orchard, or would you use that if you were to do Orchard, or how does Orchard do, and how should we do that in the new stack, not to prevent you from doing anything or to make it better. One example, one of the main examples is the security stuff and the authorization stuff. If you go into the security repository, you will find a namespace called authorization. It's Orchard's authorization system. It's a pure copy of that, with events, authorizations, claims, and you can have policies. What we call them authorization handler in Orchard. It's called policies in security. The way that you can use authorization on controllers, on actions, inside actions, and inside views, and that you can create permissions, and those permissions can have implied permissions and can be changed dynamically. Everything is taken from Orchard. And also some pieces of the routing and MVC were just ensuring that it will work with Orchard, or that they could do multi-tenancy like Orchard does, things like that. So that's good for the team and for Orchard.
What was there? The code actually copied or rewritten?
No. Nothing has been copied, and you can check that. Both are open source. Even the class names don't match. It was inspired.
Okay.
But that's a good question. I think it's the .NET Foundation. I'm not sure about the copyright of the new stack.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to check. I'm not sure. Let me check. I just open. You have the same thing. It's Open Technologies right now. Yep. But yeah.
Cool.
What else? Yeah, you are there. The first question you will ask. I didn't think about that, but yeah, correct. Okay, no question. Next topic.
Well, yeah, just what kind of scope do you think it would take to move Orchard to vNext? Like any current ASPnet application, you will do a rewrite. You could use some of the components, but it will be a rewrite, because every component is changed in vNext. Every component. It's a new CLR, so for instance, there is not the reflection like we have today is not exactly the same. So there is no like dot get methods, dot property info, something like that. It's just a new thing, which is actually compliant with the PCL. It's different, so we can take the code like this. And the routing is different. It's all based on OWIN. Everything is based on OWIN, so the routing is different. The action controller descriptors are different. The view engine is different. In the pipeline. Everything is extensible. Everything is based on dependency injection. So that's good for us. So the goal is that Orchard will have lesser things to do.
We don't have to care about dependency injection. We don't have to care about lots of things. Routing is better. I also ensured, for instance, there were some pain points in Orchard, like how to customize the URL, what / means in Orchard or in any web app. It depends on your tenant, it depends on your context, it depends on many things. So now it's extensible in the new stack. So it's a service. You can re-implement that. So we could have an Orchard URL provider that every services in the full stack will use. There is no more separation between Web API and MVC. It's one stack. It's MVC. And you can plug formatters if you want. And you can have controllers, or you can have an action can be anything. Can be from a controller class. You will see that everything at Harvest if you come. So if you had to implement Orchard, it will mean we can reuse the modules for sure. The modules will not go away. We will just have to refactor them to use a new stack. But the controllers will be the same. Instead of returning action result, we just return I action result, and that will be it. The same views. But the Orchard framework itself will have to be rewritten to use the new stuff. So that's definitely a 2.0. There is no possible migration of a website to the other. The only migration will be the export files. Export your content and re-import in a new website. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do new stuff without breaking things. And here it's really, really new stuff. So, yeah. But we will have to talk about it. What do we want to do with a new stack? When? Do we wait 6 months? Do we wait 2 years? Do we even do something? Do we have the resource to do that? How long it will take? Strategies. Then all the other topics related to Orchard 2.0, like data access. Do we want to redo the data access? With what? With the new entity framework? With something else? There's so many questions that we'll have a talk at Harvest for that, to expose all the issues. And entity framework, the new one is not entity framework, the old one. It's a new entity framework, new paradigms, and it's a lesser entity framework. It's not a micro framework, but and everything in the new stack is async. It's Node. It's not Node, but there are some. This is a competition. So, what is the future of an Hibernate? I don't know if an Hibernate has a future. An Hibernate works. It's fixed, but they don't have new features, or they don't move to async, for instance. So they lack some contributors. That's the issue. Entity framework doesn't like contributors. They are paid by Microsoft, and they're enough to redo entity framework. Okay, next topic, unless you have some other questions, because many things. Blogs. So what does TBM means?
I know.
Yes, you know, because we chatted. It means, so because you've seen these changes here on this branch project MSC, and you asked what it was, and it was a secret project. So I've been working with the ASP.net, the ASPnet.com website. No, it's ASP.net website, guys, to rebuild weblogs.asp.net. This thing. There is one blog here that you all know. This is Bertrand's one. So Bertrand has his blog there, his technical blog here, and another guy called Scott Gu has his blog there. And we are actually moving the full platform, the full blog platform from weblogs.asp.net to Orchard. And today it looks like that. beta.asp.net/codegu, and if you look at the source code, you will see it's Orchard. And there is a theme called the Bootstrap machine. Is Philippe here? No. He will have some words to say about that, because he's done a Bootstrap theme, the main Bootstrap theme in Orchard. So what it is, it's that its server is running 725 blogs as tenants, which means it's running 725 Orchard website. 725 websites on a single large Azure instance, 7 gigabytes of memory, 4 cores, large instance, yeah, that's it. 725 different Orchard websites with different modules enabled. With it could have different themes, but there is only one available, but it's customizable. And you see they are completely different. So this one, for instance, is Scott Guthrie. This one is Bertrand. This one is John Galloway. There is also Franz Boomer for the ones who know. Oh, he's customized it. Nice. And you see that's not slow. Who else is well known there? Lots of people. 725 blogs.
Antoine, show Antoine.
Antoine, sorry, Antoine, I forgot. You see, you're in my bookmarks. Antoine customized it. You see, you can create links. It's the full navigation. I have talked about to you, Antoine, because I don't know how you made that. There is no alias for this one. I don't know how you did that. There is /content/item/display 34. It doesn't happen on the other blog, so I don't know what you did. Maybe you imported some content, and but you see it works.
Yeah, I want to say, because previously those blogs were on Community Server, which is a really antique blog platform.
Oui, you, Bertrand. Hear you.
To say how much of a relief it is to have.
Bertrand, yeah,
Okay.
yes, yeah, that's better. Now we can hear you. But
Okay. Yeah, it's really a relief to have widgets and everything available. I mean, it makes such a difference when, as compared to the old platform. It's amazing.
So just for creating Nick, this little button is from his module, the NGM Open Authentication module. So you can authenticate using Live ID, and it was a nice challenge because they are all different websites, but we needed to use only one live account, one live connect account API. So there is a little trick inside his module now to do that. It works, and we have HTTPS also. If you click up, you're on HTTPS. Bertrand is using an ad which is not served on HTTPS, so that's ugly now, but that's life. You didn't have HTTPS on the old platform also, Bertrand, just to tell you. So if you were to authenticate, clear passwords. Yep, it works, beautiful. And everything is on Azure. It's OutputCache from Azure, it's blob storage, it's, what else? Azure websites, it's SQL Azure databases, and it works beautifully. So we have a single Azure instance, large instance, running 4 websites. Each website has around 200 tenants. There is a reverse proxy which is routing this thing to the correct website. It's very easy. From A to E, it's website 1. From F to L, it's website 2, and so on. We have one SQL Azure database per website, so we have 4 SQL Azure databases. Each of single database, we have 4 of them, contains 200 logs using table prefix, and they are small SQL Azure instances, like $10 per month. So the whole thing, in the end, costs around $300 per month to run. Yep. And I think that's it. So users have been using it since last week, and they are currently customizing it for when we switch it to the main. So this is very interesting for Orchard, and that's amazing. It's live. Whoa, yeah. And the next step are, maybe we'll see if it works well and people are happy, to also move some other blogs we have on Microsoft, like MSDN blogs, AS.net blogs, things like that, which also have lots of blogs on it. Everything is open source or will be open sourced. and is reproducible if you want to create your own blog platform handling hundreds of blogs on a Raspberry Pi.
Is the MSDN stuff on community server too?
Yes, they are all on community server, so the goal was to move from community server because it was an old version, and so I wanted a new platform system. So this is the first one to do that, and we'll see how it goes. And there are still some little bugs we're working on, but that will be fine. See, people are playing, and there is a reCAPTCHA now on the comments, so no more spam. For the users, it's important because they were annoyed with the spam. And you see, you can customize. Wow. You can add custom JavaScript, you can add custom CSS, you can use Bootstrap themes by injecting them. But if you're using the theme from Philip Seneschal, that it will be by default also any theme. Good. Questions? Nope. I'll talk about it at Harvest. Today is a mini Harvest, actually. Orchard website. Like I have nothing to do but to repair this website. So yesterday, I don't know, nobody sent me an email saying the website was down, but some unit tests started to not pass after Nick's pushes, and one unit test is actually using Orchard.net to check if a URL is wrong and returning 200, and the website was down. And the main issue with this website, it's on a cloud service. Good luck figuring out what is wrong with a website when it's running in a cloud service. So the issue was that it was just taking all the memory and recycling, and nothing was written from this website. It was crazy. And after hours of trying to RDP to the machine and to find what was the issue, apparently the localization module breaks everything. I don't know if it's a DDoS. There was kind of a lot of access to this page, and I had to disable that. So guys responsible for localization, if you have touched something yesterday or the day before, I don't know what, anything, we need to...
I guess the 2 users get enabled, that was all.
Yeah, nothing really happened lately. Just a few new users.
As soon as I enable this module, it takes the full memory of the server and takes it down.
Okay, we'll investigate.
It's been working for 3 years, and yesterday it goes down, so something happened. Also, the cache module was disabled. So I don't know who disabled the cache module, but it was disabled. Maybe it has never been enabled, but it was disabled, so I re-enabled it. So we have to deal with that after.
I was just saying that I know that 2 users got added to the list, but that's all I saw on the forums.
Who added the users?
Can you hear me?
That would have been Benedict, but he's done it a million times. So
yeah, that's fine. Maybe just to ensure that some correct rights have been given and.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I couldn't see that causing any issues with the localization module.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just the module. In the module itself, there is something going wrong. I don't know, based on some specific culture. I don't know, but.
Have we got a database? Maybe we could. Maybe I could have a look at the database if you send it to me.
I can. It's a SQL Azure database. I'm not sure how to do that, but I will try. I'll try now. Disable the module just to have the website backup. Okay. Next thing, as requested by Zoltan, Epiphany was the code name and.
Just 1 second. You might want to temporarily remove the translate.
I can do that. Yeah.
From the navigation.
Can someone do that while I'm talking about Epiphany?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Epiphany was the name of a company that Microsoft acquired around September, November, October, I can't remember. And now they are releasing a new service called Windows Azure API Management, announced it at TechEd this morning or yesterday, I think. Nice thing about them is, I think I already talked about them, is that they provide a proxy for any API that you will provide to devs on the web, like big data. And also they are providing a portal for the API provider to manage their documentation, to manage their subscriptions, their paid plans, everything around setting APIs and managing APIs. And this portal is done with Orchard. And what happens is that anytime a new customer wants to use Windows Azure API management, it will create a portal based on Orchard, a new Orchard website that people can go inside and go into the dashboard to manage the different APIs, documentation, the users, the blogs, the whatever you can use in Orchard and the modules they have added to it. So it's very nice. It's in Azure. It's Microsoft product. There are 2 levels below me, and they're working on that. They did a customized admin theme. You might have seen the tweets. I think Zoltan linked to it right there. This one, you see this thing retweeted by Eric Lenartz. You recognize the widgets page. It's a customized admin theme for Azure API management. Yep. So this is Orchard. Every new customer is using Orchard. Some current customers are the NFL and Washington Post. So if you go to let me see, NFL API.
Deploying a completely standalone Orchard website, or is it a multi-tenant setup here?
It's talking to them. I think it's autonomous website because it was working like this before, and they didn't have the time to switch to multi-tenancy. But they are looking into multi-tenancy. No, just yeah. Let me see. NFL data. Oh. Exist. I can't remember which one it is, but they are using that. And there was one in the Washington Post too. Washington Post API. Yes, that's it. I think this one is right. So if you go there and you see page source, Orchard, you see Epiphany, the name of the whole website. This is Orchard. So the Washington Post devs, when they want to update their documentation or manage the statistics and how many API calls there have been, they just authenticate there. It's Orchard, so there is no surprise. It must be admin stuff. And here it's blocked. And yep, Orchard. So good stuff. So guys, demos next week. Or do you want to do a quick one? 5 minutes each?
5 minutes is enough for me.
Okay, go.
No, really. You can mute me if I go over 5 minutes. And it's very much actual or current because there has been so much talk during this meeting about output caching and proxies and whatnot. Let me know when you can see my screen.
I can. Benedek.
Just a second. Can you hear me now, by the way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We are hearing
we still it's clicking. Oh.
That's probably coming from me.
Yeah.
For some reason,
fix it.
Link is doing that.
No, it's the old microphone you are using. Okay, go on. That's fine.
Okay, never mind. So,
I can't see your
the
screen.
implementation.
Sorry, it's still loading.
So never mind. I will give some introduction. So the implementation here is not so important, but rather the idea. So tenants on .NET also use a proxy, a reverse proxy for output caching.
We lost you. No more sound. Or is it just me? Yeah, we lost you, Zoltan.
Yeah, Zoltan,
you're muted. You're muted.
So can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So again, sites on .NET use a reverse proxy for output caching, just as the ASP.NET sites Sebastian has talked about. So if you go to a site like this one, it will be quite fast. Well, this was the first request, so 250 milliseconds. Now it's cached, so around a bit more than 300 milliseconds, because it's in ECUS. Now, if I go to the admin site, so this was the test page we have seen here, and I edit something, and I hit publish, we should see the new content, and we actually see it. You see it was a bit slower indeed, so it doesn't it hasn't come from the cache. And now if I refresh again, it comes from the cache. What happens in the background, that on the reverse proxy there is the cache, but the site also uses the Orchard.OutputCache module, not for caching, but just for its basic services. So there is an iCache storage provider, if I remember correctly, interface that you can implement to have a cache storage. Now we have a custom implementation for that actually doesn't store anything. It just handles removal calls. So all this architecture uses the logic and the smartness in the OutputCache module to know when to remove a cache entry, and it goes through a web API to the proxy server to actually remove that cache entry. So the location of caching here is separate from the website, but anyways, it employs OutputCache to have a smart eviction mechanism here.
Is it Varnish?
Sorry?
Is it Varnish?
I don't know. I don't know that. So no, it's application request routing, the reverse proxy. If that was the question.
Yep.
Yeah. So the IIS stuff, it works well for basic stuff, but for example for this kind of stuff, it was a lot of configuration and digging how to do it. But it's possible, and probably it's easier with other reverse proxies.
Right. I was talking about Varnish because Varnish has a notion of tags too, like the output cache does. So you can tag multiple entries with a tag, and this is how Orchard invalidates the content internally. But in your cache storage provider, you just get a remove item. But there is a loop in the output cache provider to call it for each of the instances. Varnish has the same notion. What would have been nice? So ARR is very nice. Nginx and Varnish are better in terms of perf and lightweightness and options. And Varnish is even better than Nginx for that, because there is an API and or some command you can put on Varnish to say remove everything from the cache which is tagged with that. And the tags can be defined in headers when you render the page with the output cache module, for instance. So Varnish will tag automatically the pages based on the tags. And you could say, remove everything which is tagged with that to Varnish automatically. With just one request, you can invalidate a bunch of pages which are related to this tag. So that will be interesting to have a Varnish module just for that. And also what is nice with Varnish is that when it receives a request, it can give you a stale data and at the same time request you for the updated version, so that the user doesn't have to wait the 200 milliseconds to get the new content. It gets a stale data. The next one will get the updated content. So very interesting. But your module is nice because it's very interesting for reverse proxy. So with that, we will not need the __r query string.
Yeah, actually, it's needed here because how application request routing works is very basic. So no tagging and nothing else. It just knows the URL,
yep.
And it always gives back the cached version if there is one. If there is a cached version, you can't say during the request in application request routing that don't use the cached version.
Yep. That's nice.
It's
Yeah, and as you said, when you use a reverse proxy caching, you don't need to store it on the server. You don't need to store the actual page output. It will store it for you. So yeah, it's even better not to store it. Yeah. Yep. Good. Awesome. Antoine, 5 minutes? Because it took 6 minutes for Zoltan.
Sorry, can I have an announcement before that, which we wanted to make last week? Yeah, and one another thing about the localization stuff. So yeah, 2 users were added lately. They were given the correct permissions, but as you may know, generating the zip packages takes a lot of resource. So I don't know, they may have reached the critical size, which causes problems. But we look into the issue. I'll try to figure it out. So the announcement is that actually 1 week ago, the Orchard Spring Harvest Challenge has started. So this is a module competition. Let me paste the URL. So this is the website. So there's a module competition similar to the first module competition until harvest. You can submit a module which is completely new or rewritten for Orchard 1.8. So the aim is to have as many modules compatible with Orchard 1.8 as possible. So please take a look at the website, read the rules, and enter the challenge. There are going to be prizes and such. So I won't list them. Just please read. It's written in the rules, and the winners will be announced at harvest. And actually, the first prize, actually part of the first prize, is that the winner will be able to present his or her work at harvest. So that's it, Antoine.
Thank you. You can talk slower. It's not because I said
yeah,
we don't have time. That's important.
All right. Well, we have a recording, so
good.
You can play
slow motion.
Yeah, okay. We'll do.
Okay. Do you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so I made some changes to my admit theme. I tried to add a collapsible button to move the left menu. I added it in the top bar.
Wow.
And I tried to make it collapsed when it's resized under a certain...
Whoa. Did you try or did you manage to?
I managed, as you can see.
It looks really good.
So it's better integrated with Bootstrap, so you have a collapsible menu you add on the top bar. You add it vertically under a certain width.
This one is ugly, but but you will work on that, I'm sure. That's fine. That's
you have the subheaders that are shown like that. And you can still
yeah, the menu looks very nice.
Deploy the menu.
Yeah.
I use Font Awesome for the icons, but I will have to change them in each CSS file as it's done actually.
The tick of the day, Piotr, the spacing between icons and labels should be what? Should be a bit larger.
Maybe. And I still have some issues. Some people want to make it fixed and to be scrollable on the left when it's too large. And it's a bit difficult.
That looks nice. Next step, I think, is the content inside the page. Like you see, this list, make it bootstrapped and yeah. And responsive, so that when we go down, we organize the links. Oh, sidebar, full of stuff.
You like the sidebar? Even, yeah.
And you can have some shortcuts on the top bar with some menus. I
with Bootstrap you can have badges, so maybe we could find a way to add some badges to have, for example, the unapproved comments.
See.
That was the idea.
It looks nice. Menu looks very nice. The
Have you
collapsible.
changed this to your current branch, Antoine?
I haven't still push it.
It looks nice. Yeah.
I've tried to use Bootstrap.less files, but I had some issues compiling with Web Essentials. It made Visual Studio crashing.
You need to use the nightly builds. There is a link on his website to explain how to use the nightly.
Okay.
It fixes everything. Yep, as Bertrand said, and Jan will agree, we need a search box on this. But it needs some custom feature for that, and the admin theme to handle search. And yeah, and also extension points so that any feature could add something on the admin menu at the top level, for instance, customize it, or maybe it could be a feature for the search too.
Is there a way of categorizing the menu on the left-hand side? I know we've mentioned this before, but it just, I don't know, it kind of seems a bit disorganized. I know even in the current theme of it.
Yeah, we also have to remember that this is a site owner menu. If you log not as a site owner but as an editor, for instance, you have much fewer options.
Yeah, but still the ordering of it is a little,
oh yeah,
it's getting messy. It's getting really messy. So honestly, yeah, we should talk about that and try to find a solution for it. There is something that is implemented at OneStop as well. That is a filter on the menu. So you have a text box, you start typing in it, and it actually filters what's in the menu depending on that. That's really easy to implement, and it makes it a lot easier to find what you want. And
I will also mention, if we have to change the admin, let's think of an integrated way of creating something like Bertrand's content tree, so that the content tree could use the design of the admin and will be integrated in the menu with collapsible menus. More and more I want this module, and if it could be integrated into the... but you know, sometimes it's not just about managing taxonomies. It's going, oh, where is my about page, or where is my sessions taxonomy, and so on. I don't care about it's a taxonomy. I just want my speakers.
I also
makes a big
like the module from Barcelona University, which is to do with content hierarchies. It organizes the content based on URLs, and you can see them. You can navigate all the way through your site.
Well,
this is
Bertrand's module.
Yeah, it does that.
It's extensible, so you can provide any...
really?
Yeah, the content tree module is just currently wrongly integrated. It's like something which seems odd in the menu navigation.
Yeah, and sometimes you see it in pop-ups, and it's there are a few things to improve. But
I must have missed this then.
Check it out.
It's very nice.
I wanted to tell Antoine that I have some vector versions of the current icons. If that can help, I can send them to you. So just let me know if you want them. It's something I had done a while ago, and I never checked it. But
I tried to find some corresponding icons in Font Awesome.
When there are icons, that's nice. But yeah, I have. So you're using an icon font actually in there.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah, that's debatable. I've used icon fonts for a while, and I moved away from them. Now I'm just using SVG, and I'm having trouble finding a good reason to use fonts nowadays.
Well, the reason is that if it's there, you just have to use it.
What do you mean if it's there?
I mean, if you look for icons, you usually go to the easiest way of getting them. And today there are lots of fonts with lots of icons like this.
Yeah, but they look like crap on some browsers. And, I don't know. I think SVG just works beautifully. But yeah, that's probably a topic for another day.
I'm sure.
Yes,
I'm sure all the
font
awesomes chars are available in SVG somehow.
Yes.
So, you see, Antoine, you can use SVG directly, I'm sure.
But anyway, Antoine, I'll send you the files, and you can do what you want with them. You can actually transform them into an icon font if you want.
Yeah.
Nice thing with font awesome also is that they have variation, responsive variation. Like if it's a small icon, it removes some details of the font of the image. They have 3 different images. You see what I mean? Complex version of the same icon. Okay, what else? Nothing?
No.
Anyone? Good. It was an awesome meeting. The other ones are not that awesome. So thank you everyone. Ilan?
Does anybody on the team here have any ideas of people we can reach out to promote this, to promote Harvest further? I've been, but I'm limited to 3 outreaches a day with meetups. So I've been tagging large .NET meetup groups across the United States, but again, can only send an email and that doesn't do much. I've sent out emails to the Outer Curve list and to the other lists that we have. But if and then I've asked you folks to retweet the tweets that I've set up. If anybody has any other ideas, I'm totally open to it.
David Hayden coming?
No, he has not responded.
Who?
He's David Hayden. He has not signed up.
Okay.
Well, what do you? Is everyone that participates now signed up mostly?
I haven't.
I'm going to miss you there, Brett.
Eric, is there anything that Outer Curve can do? Besides the list that y'all already have?
I can look into it. I mean, if you, not sure offhand, because it's kind of specific. So.
Well, it just depends what channels you have of communication. So.
I mean, I can certainly tweet it and whatnot, and I can blog about it.
That's helpful.
That'll help. Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I notice no one from One Stop's on the list.
They have to. They're signing up right now. There's 4 people from One Stop going.
Oh yeah, good.
Okay, just asking. If I don't ask, it's a shame. So I'd rather ask for help.
Did you put that on the LinkedIn group, Elon?
I've posted. There's 3 Orchard, actually 3.5 LinkedIn groups. I reached out to each manager, and none of them replied except for Hong in China, who's focused on big data. And I think there was a little bit of loss in translation there. But the other LinkedIn groups did not post it.
Okay.
I will ask the big names at Microsoft to tweet about it. When they come back from TechEd, they will have the time to do that. And I'm sure the explanation on the homepage state what Orchard is. Do we? What is Orchard? No, we don't say that. What? We don't say what Orchard is on the homepage.
What do you mean? On the homepage of the site?
No, that's fine.
Site? Yes, we do.
It's at the bottom. Okay, so that's fine. But sometimes some people don't want to tweet when it's not obvious what it is.
I know you're making a reference to a specific person.
You know?
But we can potentially turn that into a slide.
We'll see. We'll see. I ask. It's there. There is no way.
You know what? You know what we're missing? We're missing some Muhammad Ali quotes.
Those apparently were very inspirational.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
See you next week.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you.